Due to the nature of my majors, I tend to take a lot of bigger classes, everything from 50 plus. And because of that, some of the best learning experiences for me have been outside class during office hours. Just last semester, I went to the professor's office hours, and actually, we had a really good conversation, a very engaging conversation. After he answered all my questions and after our discussions, I casually asked him, "So, what are you researching on?" And he actually he walked me through his research. And I mean, he's a very famous professor, top of the field in game theory. He's won grants from the National Bureau of Economic Research and everything. And just the fact that even though he is so important and his time is so valuable, he was willing to sit down with me, a second year undergraduate at that point, and walk me through his research, even though I probably didn't have any useful input to give him at that moment. I think that was great because it opened up the possibility of understanding the class outside of a very academic environment, and really bring in what you learn in class into a broader perspective and understanding what the larger implications are.
We were reading Christopher Marlowe's Tamburlaine, and the professor didn't feel like we were really understanding why it was so dramatic. And the word he kept using was transgressive. And he wanted to make sure that we understood that better. So he got some students up and had them read one of the scenes that was particularly transgressive. He had the students enact the scene. And then he said to one student, "Okay, now I want you to climb on my chair and stand on my chair." And so the student did that. And then he's like, "Okay, now climb on the desk and stand on the desk." And the student did it. But he still didn't think we were quite getting the transgressive thing. So he was like, "Okay, now what if," he didn't do this, but he said, "What if I got down on all fours and I told you to stand on my back like it actually says in the play?" That was like the moment that he and like I think the rest of the class really got like what was happening in that moment of the text. And I really appreciated how the professor didn't just like give up. He like made sure everyone got it.
So in the final project, me and my teammate were to design a musical instrument called theremin. When we were doing the replication part, when we were assembling all of the parts together on the breadboard, we encountered a surprising situation. So we tried doing certain fixes to fix this problem, to work around it maybe, but none of us were really like successful at solving the problem. So we went to the professor and told him that this is the problem that you're facing. And the professor himself was surprised that he hasn't anticipated a problem like this, something like this would happen. So the professor has spent time with us at the lab with every student, listening to the problem and working with us to achieve a solution. And projects like these actually test our willpower and also like, inculcate this out-of-box thinking. And I think this is what Columbia is about, and I'm really glad to be a part of this.
One professor did was he used to give us some bullet points before the readings on what to look out for, what to think about, and that really helped because before having any discussion with someone else, you already have some thought-provoking ideas in your head going around, and that can alter the way you interpret the text.
One thing that was helpful, so in the second semester of contemporary civilization, we had like all this reading we had to do, but we always kind of spent like 10 minutes in class where you got to choose like a partner. And so I was always working with the same person, and we would each have like a certain like theme, I guess, in the text or topic or certain section of the reading. And we would talk about it and what we gained from it, share it with the class. And then that was very helpful to see like other people's perspectives on it kind of laid out. And I took like amazing notes that semester. So that really helped out with midterms and finals and all that good stuff.
And I've had classes in which the setup was in a round circle where everyone spoke in, and I felt that just like that physical change can really improve student experience and can make the class a lot more engaging.
What matters more to me than the teacher actually learning my name is the teacher being honest enough to ask if they don't remember. Because you can always tell when a teacher doesn't know your name and they're just trying to avoid it. And it doesn't feel great. So just own it and be like, "I'm bad with names. Tell me again.
Personally, I think names are very important, but like if you know my work and I come to office hours and you're like, hey, you wrote that paper, like that probably matters to me more than you knowing my name. But it can also get awkward because oftentimes I'm like one of two black girls in the class or black people in the class, and when I get like called the other black girl's name, I'm like, this is really weird. So that probably bothers me more than you not knowing at all.